Hello, it's Richard. Welcome back. This is the third video. I'm going to do 3 videos now because on the last page there's only about 5 postures. So we're videos 1, videos 2, videos 3 captures all of the postures in this handout. And the videos are really there as an aid memoir, if you like, a little bit of guidance onto how to do the postures. Just because sometimes looking at a document is not quite obvious. Okay, so take all the necessary precautions when you do these postures. Just be compassionate with your body. Seek medical advice before you do any form of exercise. I'm going to go straight into it. So these ones on page 3 are mostly standing postures. So if you are a bit wobbly on your feet, take extreme caution here. Make sure you've got good grip of the chair when we're doing the balance postures. So we're going to start off with tree, a supported tree. Now we also touched on tree on one of the other videos, but we're going to do it anyway nonetheless. So make sure when you do standing postures and using the chair as a means of support that it doesn't slide around on the floor. It sounds obvious, but sometimes carpets can be a bit slippy. Just make sure you've got either I've got a yoga mat here, and I'm more than happy to sell some yoga mats for anybody that's interested. info@richardsyoga.org. I've got hundreds, but also you can use any form of surface mat or something to keep the chair quite stable. So tree is a balanced posture, and it's a very popular yoga posture. So how I would get into tree, if it's the first time I did it, I'd make sure I have both hands on the chair, okay? I'm just going to move the chair out the side here so you can see both hands on the chair. My feet are hip width apart, nice and straight through the body, upright through the body, soft in the shoulders, looking straight ahead. So what I'm going to do is lean into my right foot. Okay, let's just turn, lean into my right foot, bend my left knee. The toes are still on the floor and rest the heel on the ankle. So this is tree, but this is like a side stand tree where you've still got 2 points of contact. This will give you an idea of how the balance is going. When you're ready, if you want, good grip of the chair, float, slide that foot up onto the calf. So you're now on one foot. Both hands on the chair. Okay, you'll feel the grounding through the standing leg. Okay, soften the shoulders and stay here for a couple of breaths. There's options here now. You can take one hand away and you can draw it out to the side and up and see how you feel with that standing leg, or you could take the other hand out or up, or you can alternate between the two. If you feel quite stable here, you can loosen your grip off of the chair, but not so far as you cannot quickly grab it again. As soon as you do that, you'll find that the body starts to make adjustments. You'll find conversations going on down all the neural pathways down into the muscles. You'll feel the ankle twitch a little bit, and you'll feel the sole of the foot sort of modulate through the floor, okay? But stay here if you can, just even for a breath, and grab hold of the chair. Okay, and just feel how that feels. And then in time, if you was to do this, you know, fairly regularly, fairly consistently, in time you will be able to take the hands off and hover a little bit longer. We're aiming for about 10 seconds, maybe 4 or 5 nice slow breaths as well. Okay, and then slowly come back down, shake off your legs, and do the same on the other side. So the first thing is to find the grounding through the feet, roll around the toes, broaden through the feet, lean into that standing left foot, bend the knee so you've got the toes on floor, do the side stand tree, just feel where you are. You're going to be slightly different on one side to the other. It might be more stable on one side, it might be less stable. And of course, doing this behind the chair, I'm only doing it to show you where we are with the legs. Once you're in a 2 grip chair, on the chair, maybe take one hand out. This effect of taking one hand away is a heavy limb coming away from the center of gravity. So it does engage your core slightly, but it also changes the dimensions of the balance. Don't think this is easy to do. This is actually quite challenging for most people. And then if you're okay and you want to go a little bit deeper, just loosen your grip and see how that affects the dynamics of the movement and see how long you can stay there. Now, big tip for balance is looking at something on the floor as it moving straight down in front of you, keeping your eyes still. Keep your eyes still, keep your mind still. Okay, and I really like balances, even hanging on to something balance is because they're mindful. They keep your mind in the moment. Okay, you're not thinking about anything else apart from probably not falling over. Okay, and the wobble's good. Just wobbling a little bit is good. Okay, so that's tree. The next one is leg sweeps. Again, grabbing hold of the chair here, come side on, both hands on the chair, lift one foot off the floor, and then leg sweeps. Okay, we've got some movement in the hip here. We're balanced on one leg, and we're getting the hip flexors moving. When you do this, just make sure that you are clear of the chair, that there's no risk of you kicking the chair. And you can then start lifting that heel up when you get some momentum going, a little bit of butt kicking going on. You don't have to kick your butt. You don't have to kick anybody's butt either. You can do what you want here. Just get that nice movement forwards and backwards. It's great. And then come to a nice clear area where you can swing the other leg sweeps. Gets heart rate up. It's really nice movement to loosen off the legs. And you might want to do this between static postures like tree that we've just done. Maybe a few leg sweeps to loosen off the joints. Okay, just looking down at the next one, leg extension hamstrings. Now I'm going to give you two options here. The first option is a seated hamstring stretch, which I teach in all of my classes because it's really, really effective. So from a seated position, I ask people to come away from the chair, upright through the body, lift one foot off of the floor, in this case, my left foot, reach forwards, push the heel away, pull the toes into the shin, and then extend that leg forwards, the heel lands on the floor. So with the heel land on the floor, pull the toes in. Now bring your hands to your hips, and this will try to elevate your axial body, your upper body, nice and straight. Now look, as I teach us, I say, come forwards, but keep your lower back flat. So your upper body stays straight. You're hinging at your hip joint. Your pelvis is rotating forwards. Your sit bone's going backwards, and it's lengthening the hamstring. So you feel quite soon tension in the back of the leg here. That's what we're looking for. Find that tension and stay here, looking forwards. So this is a really nice hamstring stretch. Putting the toes back and leaning into it. And keeping the breath nice and soft here. Try to soften through the muscle. These hamstring stretches are really, really good for your back, for your lower back, for your hip joint. So I teach them in every class if I can. And you slowly come out of that, bend the knee. And I find that when you bend the knee, you come back up. This knee feels slightly higher than the other knee because the whole joint has opened up a little bit. And again, we go again. So you lift your foot up, the other foot up, extend the leg, pull the toes in, reach forward the heel, ground the heel, and then lift the body up, shoulders back, so you're nice and straight through your upper body, pivot at the hips. As you come forwards, that hamstring goes backwards, and you feel that tension in the back of the thigh, and you stay here, pulling the toes back, feeling that sensation of stress. So that's the seated version. The chair version is a little bit more intense, and it really comes down to where you are with the range of movement in your body and how high the chair is. So it's a similar sort of thing with the leg extended, heel on the chair, pull the toes in, good grip of the chair, and then gently with your upper back quite flat, come forwards. It's a lot more intense because the leg is a little bit higher. And if you're doing a seated version, you can actually rest your heel on a couple of books or blocks, which almost gives you the same effect, okay? And very carefully coming onto the chair, coming back to that point of hamstring extension. Okay, good. Okay, the next one are squats. So again, I teach these in all of my chair yoga classes. Come up behind the chair, take your feet out a little bit wider, turn your toes outwards a little bit. When we squat, when we bend the knees, make sure your knees track over your toes. Good grip of the chair. Come down very gently at first. Just feel your way into these. And probably do half a dozen or so, just gently moving body upright, keeping hold of the chair. Once you start to build some warmth, get some blood into your muscles, then you can come and hold, go static. And if you're okay, static, pull your tummy button in, pull your pelvic floor up, maybe a few little pulses here. This is quite good for building strength, integrity around your hips, around your knees, around your ankles. And then hold again. Options here, pull the tummy button in, draw one arm up in front of you, keep the tummy button pulled in, the other arm up and straighten up. Once you come out of that, bring your knees together and a few little, or maybe some leg sweeps, just to get some movement into the joints. So that's squats, really, really good squats. So the next one is standing staff. So standing staff is a Another regular yoga posture. Good grip of the chair. Draw one knee up about waist height. Okay, good grip of the chair. Feel the balance. If you want, maybe draw one arm out to the side. Again, remembering that taking a limb away from the center of gravity just intensifies the posture. Stay here. The breath will start to get a little bit challenging and come back down. Maybe a few little. And go again on the other side. Again, with standing start, good grip of the chair, upright through the body, lifting that knee up, looking forwards or keeping your gaze fixed on something. Good grip of the chair, taking the arm out nice and wide. And you feel the core engage as soon as you do that. To hold that position, keeping the breath nice and steady. And come back. Again, hold these things around about 5 breaths if you can. Build up to it. 3 to 5 breaths is good. Plank position. This is really intense. So I don't actually teach this in any of my classes because it's not really appropriate for the people I teach. But if you want to give this a go at home, make sure you've got a good, firm, grounded chair. Hands onto the chair, onto the seated part of the chair, and walk hands backwards. Try to lower down. Try to sort of lean forward if you like. It's almost like where it is a high press up. So trying to take the weight onto the shoulders. But if this is too much, it's okay. Don't do it. It's really intense for your core. Okay, and then walk feet backwards and slowly come all the way back up. Now the next one is a seated one. So come down onto your chair. Now this is a supported lunge twist. So you have to come to the edge of your chair for this. Before we go into this, this is quite nice movement. So if you come up onto your toes, lift your heels, grip of the chair, and then roll your hips from side to side, windscreen wiper in your legs, okay? Upright through the body, letting the hips rotate from side to side. It's quite a nice movement to get that hip mobility. And again, this might be quite tricky for you. Let's see how you go with this. Before we do the next one, which is a side lunge, do a couple of these. And then what we're going to do is turn all the way around to one side, set the foot on the side of the chair, ankle is under the knee, and draw this other leg backwards. So you're on the ball of the foot of the toes, you're dropping that knee down. Now this is going to be quite tricky for lots of people. You can see I've got my hand on the back of the chair to support me, okay? So this is really about allowing your hip flexor to lengthen here, okay? Nice and heavy in that leg. So we're going to take a twist here. So I'm going to use the chair to grab hold of and twist around towards the chair. So I've got one knee forwards, one leg going backwards. And I'm going to twist away from this lower leg towards the chair. So this is a lunge twist. And again, you can take 3 or 4 breaths in there, bring that foot forward, heel toe or pivot around onto the other side, and then dropping that leg to the outside. So one bum cheek's got to be on the chair, the other bum cheek's got to be almost off the edge of the chair. Grab hold of the chair and twist into the chair for a lunge twist. It's quite a common posture in the yoga I teach, lunge twists. To create a core, nice rotation through the spine. It's quite a nice movement. Push-ups. Okay, depending on the length of your arms, depending on your chair, you might not be able to see this, but it's essentially that. It's grabbing hold of the chair, pushing your bum off the chair, pushing the whole body weight off the chair. Really good. Strengthening exercise for your shoulders, your arms, your wrists. And one that will actually do you some good. Not that any of these don't do you any good, but this one in particular, and then you can hold, once you've done a few dynamics, you can hold, feel that intensity. Depending on what type of chair you've got, if the chair isn't appropriate for it, then wouldn't bother with it. But it is, if you have got a chair with a fairly wide platform here, where you can grab hold of something on the chair to push up. Okay, push-ups. Cat-cow now. Now we've done cat-cow, seated cat-cow in another video. This is a cat-cow supported with the chair. So, and back onto our feet. So it's taking your hands down onto the chair and walking your feet backwards, bend the knees a little bit. And it's this movement. You can see that my spine is going down towards the floor. It's going into extension. It's going to flexion here. And how we do this is I use the breath. So we breathe in, take the tummy button to the floor, arch into the lower back, bum goes backwards, head lifts. As we breathe out, drop your head, pull your tummy button in, round your back. So that's the movement. You go nice and slow with your breath, really good for your spine. You get a little bit deeper doing it standing up, I have to say, than you would seated. You've got the effects of gravity. You can allow the spine to start moving a little bit deeper. This is cat-cow. Okay, once you've done a few of those, I'm just standing position. So the next posture is leg extension. Again, another one where you're using the platform of the chair. You're sitting 1 foot backwards and you're bringing 1 foot forward. You're trying to make your legs straight, trying to get the heels grounded, and then trying to find some tension in that back leg, and maybe in the front leg, and maybe in the back leg as well. Lifting the chest up, lowering the chest down. You'll feel some tension here. And then change over, bend that front knee, bring the feet together, take the other foot behind you, push the heel down so it's nice and straight, and then straighten through the front leg so it's nice and straight. Find that nice leg extension, hamstring extension. So we're taking the hamstring into its longest shape. Okay, and then come back. Which sort of sets us nicely for downward dog. Downward dog is a really common, popular yoga posture in regular conventional yoga. There's a couple of ways we can do it on a chair. The first one, I'm going to take the back of the chair, both hands on the chair, arms are shoulder width apart. I'm going to walk my feet backwards. Make sure you've got plenty of space here. So I'm lowering down and then lower my head towards my arms, towards my shoulders, and then taking it down even further until I feel tension in the back, in the legs. And you'll see this is almost like, it looks like 90 degrees, but it's actually, if my hands are on the floor, it would be an inverted V, downward dog. So that's one option of downward dog. Stay here, a few breaths. You'll feel how nice this feels. Okay, that's one option. With a chair, the other option, again, is depending on the sort of chair you've got. Walk the feet backwards, take the head down towards the shoulders. A little bit lower, a little bit more intense. The dog. And the third option, not necessarily using the chair, using a wall, hands come about shoulder width height, and then walking your feet backwards and then lowering down. This one's probably a little bit safer, and you can still feel the effects of downward dog. You feel that stretch through the shoulders, through the spine, through the lower part of the body. Okay. Supported hip flexor lunges. Another quite intense one. So really careful with these ones where we're, it's a combination of balance. So it's lifting one leg up on the chair, grab hold of the chair, both hands if you want, and lean in, lunging in. A few dynamic ones if you feel stable enough to do this, and then lean in, hand on your hip maybe, feel that stretch. So a little bit of flexion here, compression in your hip flexor, nice extension through the back of the trailing leg. Change over. And this is all working assumption is we can get the foot up onto the chair. If you can't, then it's not for you, this one. and a few dynamic ones. But there's nothing stopping you using the stairs for these types of things when you maybe lift your foot up onto the first step or the second step, grab hold of the stairway or the wall and gently lunge in. That's where we're going with this. Really good movement for your hips. You tighten your hips and then hold static, upright through the body. Feel that tension around your hips. Okay. And now we've got supported knee raises. I'm going to take two options with this. First one is going to be using the back of the chair again. Walk the feet backwards, get some space here, and then okay, you can do 5 on one side if that is a bit safer for you, and then hold. Okay, so 5 and then hold for 5 breaths, and then the other side. You don't have to go too low here. Again, the movements in the hips, and then hold 5 breaths, or you can alternate. Okay, using those really big, powerful hip flexors. You can do that on the back of the chair, or maybe you want to go a little bit deeper, so more of a downward dog. See what works for you. That's in essence what we're doing there. Okay, supported triangle. So triangle, we've already done triangle, I think a seated version of triangle. This is a standing version. Now, you can, if you want to take your feet out nice and wide, hold on a chair with one hand, take one arm up and come over the top. So it's a bit of a side bend, keeping the shoulders on the hips, keeping good grip of the chair and reaching over the top. This is one version. Another version of triangle is turn one foot, so it's in line with the mat. So it turns, the leg rotates outwards and tuck the, bring the other foot in. So the heel goes away and then do the same. So you get a little bit of rotation in the hips. You can always bend through that supporting arm to come into deeper side bends. This is another version, triangle, supported triangle. I've given you two versions because if you're really tight in your hips or the stability is not so great, then I would go with the feet just slightly pointing out slightly. Come for a side bend. This is actually the original version of triangle, not necessarily supported with the chair, but without any hip rotation. Okay, and then work your way around your chair so you can go in the other direction. So the first version is put the feet out comfortably wide, turn the toes out slightly, and then good support of the chair. Lift that other arm up and over. You'll feel this stretch down the side of the body. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you turn that foot that's closer to the chair outwards, so it's foot's in line with the chair. Tuck the other foot in slightly, upright through the body, and then draw over. Another side bend here. Got a little bit of rotation in the hips. You might gently feel it in your hips. A little bit more constraint, compression. And again, 5 breaths in these postures, these static postures. Supported triangle. Now we're back on the chair for some arm raises, which I know we've covered in the other video, but I do like arm raises as a means of building heat up in the body as well as moving the whole shoulder complex. So with these arm raises, we're going to do a thing that I do in my classes, which is quite nice. Is firstly, just gently draw the arms up and down. So feel that nice movement. You can do this with a breath in, drift the arms up and breath out down. Take the arms out nice and wide. Now start rotating your wrists forwards as you float the arms up. And then rotate the wrists backwards as you float the arms down. And keep going with this nice gentle movement. And down. So another version of arm raises. Arm raises static, reach up, Draw the arms up, nice and wide, upright through the body. Draw the tummy button up into the ribs. Look up, really reach with the fingers. Feel that big, long stretch through the upper body. And breathe and breathe and breathe and breathe. And release. And maybe a few with the breath. Good. Arm raises. Lots of different combinations. You can have cactus the arms. You can do all sorts with arm raises. But anything that gets the mobility, the movement in the shoulders. Really good. Side bends whilst we're sat down. So I'm going to take a wider leg version of side bend. So come to the edge of your chair here. Take your feet out a little bit wider. And let's make it interesting. Okay, upright through the body. Rest one forearm on the thigh, palm up. Take the other arm out to the side, nice and straight, palm is up. Slowly bring that arm up, big circle, down, up, and over the top. And as it comes over the top, reach up as high as you can to that furthest point, that furthest stretch. You'll feel that nice, big, long stretch down the side of the body here. Now, when you're here, going to stay here for 5 breaths. So what we're going to do is target the breath into that part of the rib cage that's exposed. So target the breath into that lung. That will actually push the ribs open even further, and the hand will go up even further as the costal muscles lengthen. So this is a big stretch. This is a big stretch for your body, big stretch for your ribs, your upper body, but also it's a really great way of improving your respiration and targeting breath into that space where it doesn't normally receive breath. And release, hand down, come all the way around and rest that hand on that thigh, palm up, this arm out, palm up. Big circle just to get that nice movement through the body. You can do as many of these circles as you want, but as you come up for the final one, reach up, lengthen, extend, and start to breathe into that side of the body that's actually starting to open up now. Really big, powerful breaths into that lung. Just checking how it feels on this side. You might find you're a little bit tighter on one side than the other side. I really like these side stretches for what they do, not necessarily for the body, but also for the respiration. I can really feel the effect in my lungs. And come back. Okay, so now we're going to do a seated warrior. So warrior postures are very common in yoga, and they're quite symbolic, all about good grounded, good foundation, being able to take on the challenges in your life, and then moving your arms around to open your heart or to do various different other things symbolically. So to get into a seated warrior, we're going to do that sort of side on lunge thing again, where we turn around to one side and bring one foot in front of the chair or to the side of the chair, and the other leg comes back. So if this is a challenge for you, what you can do in this instance is take your feet out nice and wide and heel toe one foot out to the side and straighten the other leg out, grounding the foot down or lifting the heel up. So if you can see that, toes come up, toes go down, and keeping this knee out to the side. So that's one option for warrior. And we turn and face over that bent knee. We draw our arms up, okay? You might find it's a little bit easier to come into this direction, into this side on lunge. Stay, body's positioned over that bent knee. Draw the arms up. When you draw the arms up, try to pull your tummy button in. This will support your lumbar spine. Look forward, soften your shoulders. Maybe bring the palms together if they'll come. And this is a seated warrior. We've got a couple of versions of warrior. This is warrior 1. If you want to take warrior 2, you stay looking forwards. You'd lower your front arm in front of you and your back arm behind you. Soften the shoulders, looking forwards. Arms are hopefully horizontal. There is reverse warrior or a peaceful warrior. Take one hand in the back, turn that palm up, reach up. And come back down. Okay, and then swivel all the way around. Options here is to have this lunge type position here, or you can take that leg to come back towards, set the leg straight, bend that knee, bring that knee forward. Depends on your range of movement in your hips. I think probably this is more accessible to most people if you've got a chair that allows you to drop one leg off the edge of it and you're sufficiently grounded and comfortable and stable on the chair. Draw the arms up, draw the tummy button in. This is a warrior 1. Taking a few breaths here. Stay looking forward, taking your lead in the hand, which is the hand on the same side of the knee in front of you, and take the other arm behind you. Soften through the shoulders and looking forwards, feeling that tension. Okay, maybe dropping that hand into the back, turn that whole arm up, lift up. Peaceful warrior. All different positions of the body to generate different movements in the joints, and then breathe nice and so slowly into those positions will really start to work the tissues, the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons into, really pull it, really stretch it, and you breathe nice and softly. And we're recovering our range of movement. These are quite unusual positions to put the body in, and it's all designed with a purpose that you recover your range of movements. When you've done a couple of those postures together consecutively, you then start to feel a lot looser in the body. The body starts to really work better against each other with itself. Okay, we've got another arms up here. So this arms up is, again, upright through the body, mountain pose, and draw the arms up. This time, arms are quite close together. Maybe the palms come together and stay here. Nice static posture. Don't need to do anything. And drop the arms down. Lift up again. You can do this dynamically if you wanted to get some movement. And then come up and hold again. A few more breaths. A lot of effort going on in your trapezius and your deep back muscles to draw your arms above you. If that is too difficult, if you've got a shoulder impingement where it's really uncomfortable to come up this high, even this high, then maybe one arm up. Maybe one arm up, leave that affected arm down a little bit, or bring it onto the hip maybe. I would certainly try where you are. I've seen people in my classes, they're like this, and that's great because they're really trying to get that movement going again. The worst thing in the world for shoulders is a frozen shoulder if you're really unfortunate to go through that that aggravation, and that's simply because we've got some severe restrictions in the rotator cuff there. But we do have to move it. Talk to your physios, see what the physios encourage you to do for frozen shoulder or shoulder impingements. I've had a dislocated shoulder, I've had shoulder impingement. I find that the yoga really is a nice means of rehabilitation, but just go with what works for you in your body. I'm not giving you medical advice here, I'm just conveying my personal experience. Talk to your physios, talk to your GP, talk to your medical professional about any impingements in your shoulders and see what the best course of action would be for you. Okay, seated back bend. We did the back bend on the other video, but same sort of thing really. Come to on your chair, and then this one is basically arching through the lower back, lifting the head up and looking up, drawing the shoulders back. You feel that intensity in your back here, pulling your tummy button in to support everything and leaning backwards a little bit. And breathe. When you feel the effort, you feel the effect. That's when it's doing some good. From that position, take your feet out a little bit wider. We'll take a counter pose, take the hands down in front of us, tuck the chin in, draw the shoulders forwards and lean forwards. Let gravity draw your head, your chest towards the floor, effectively lengthening those muscles that have just compressed in that back bend. Taking a few breaths here. Pull your tummy button as you roll up again, and you can go again with another back bend. So hands on your knees, draw your chest forward, shoulders back, arching through the lower back and leaning backwards a little bit onto your sit bones, feeling that effort needed and the effort going on in your back. Okay, forward bend. We've just done that, but forward bend, let's do a couple of versions of forward bend. First one is a dangle with the feet out nice and wide, hands down, as we've just done, using gravity, shoulders forwards, tuck the chin in, lean forwards, and let the arms dangle, passively stretching through the back. Nice dangle in forward bend. Pull your tummy button in, slowly come up. When you come out of forward bends, just take it nice and slowly. It's a little bit of an inversion. You might get some little bit of lightheadedness, dizziness, and then Take a few breaths here. Maybe move your head from side to side or up and down. Other version of seated forward bend that I use in my sun salutations. I'll just come back so you can see me. Stretch my legs out in front of me. Maybe the legs on a block, or point the toes. Let the soles of the feet ground down, and then upright through the body. Draw the arms up, and then lower the hands down onto the knees, and then tuck the chin in, shoulders forwards, and slide your hands down your legs into the seated forward bend. Just pulling your tummy button in to support your lower back, coming forwards with your shoulders, and finding that nice stretch through your back to the point where you feel that's enough. Stay here. Breathe nice and softly here. You'll notice with yoga, when you breathe in, the body tenses slightly, and when you breathe out, it releases. So on those breaths out, see if you can just go marginally forwards, small margins, but stretching, taking the hands further forward down the legs, stretching through the back. Not forcing it, but just allowing the breath and gravity to draw you forwards. Taking 5 breaths here. And then to come out of this, pull your tummy button in and walk your hands slowly up your legs, very, very slowly. So almost acclimatize to an upright position, bend your knees, and just check in with your circulation, make sure you're okay. Forward bend's really good. The important thing about forward bends is we might be susceptible to stiffness in our back. We might have some issues in our lower back, our lumbar area. So I always encourage people to pull the tummy button in. This is squeeze the corset muscles around your core to squeeze the spine and protect the spine somewhat. Okay, so that's page 3 now. That's done. And then we go straight on to the very last page, page 4, which are, I think they're pretty much 4 standing, and we end up with some breath. So wall lunge is pretty much as it says. Come to a wall, take your feet, I'd say, depends on how long your legs are, really, doesn't it, I suppose. But get your hands on the wall so they're shoulder height, and then walking your feet forwards. Then step 1 foot back so you can ground down through the back towards the heel, and then bend, so you can bend this knee. So lunge, basically, you want to get your front knee on top of your ankle, and then lean into that lunge as you push into the back heel of the back leg. Okay, and just stay here. And you can take a dynamic approach to this, experimenting with the position of your arms, maybe as if you want to push the wall away, lean into this so you're stretching through your quadriceps on that leading leg, and then go into it, push the wall away. Use your strength here, and then come backwards. And then again, experiment again with the movement in your legs where you need to be. So lunging forwards. You'll feel that effect when you push the wall with your hands and lean into the lunge. Hold statically 3 to 4 to 5 breaths. Come back out. Good for strength. Talking of which, the next one, which is chair pose, which is a super posture for building strength up and warmth in the body. And we go back onto a wall here. We rest our bum against the wall, walk our feet forwards. What we're looking for is our knees on top of our ankles. So we're sitting back into the wall. Pull your tummy button in, squeeze your bottom muscles, squeeze your thigh muscles, squeeze and hold. And then with your tummy button pulled in, reach the hands forward as if you're sat on a chair now. Looking up between the hands and stay here. Now, your options are to slowly slide your bum down a little bit so you get a little bit more intensity in your quadriceps. And this is really good for sore knees, so building up the strength around your muscles, around your knees, looking up between the hands, and it's great for all-round strength. This will soon build up some heat, some warmth in your body. Okay, not going into it too deeply, 3 to 4 to 5 breaths, breathing nice and softly, and then take the hands back to the wall, push yourself away, and then let them get hold of the chair. So I would really encourage chair posture. It delivers on a whole number of fronts in terms of building strength and integrity up around this part of the body to help to alleviate, to reduce the risk of falls. But also it's a great way of warming up the body, and it's a nice static posture. Great for your knees as well. You find you're sore in your knees when you walk or even if you run, then that movement alone, seated against the wall with both knees bent. You can feel the quadriceps, the thighs really working. Stay there, stay there. This will build up the muscles in a great way. It will develop the right length of muscles in terms of where they pull the kneecap, how they pull the kneecap across the knee. Okay, next one, supported Superman. Coming into big, more intense ones now. So again, depend upon the chair you've got and the range of movement and the stability, the confidence you've got here. Both hands on the chair, and then lean into your hands as you lift that trailing leg off of the floor. Okay, and then all in the glutes now, looking down at the chair, stay here. Options here for Superman is to draw one arm out to the side and stay here. Quite intense. Great for building strength up in your hip joint and working your hamstrings and your glutes. And then wherever you are, depending on what sort of chair you've got, wheel around to the other side, both hands on the chair, find that stability, 3 points of contact still. And then if you're okay, stay here. This is absolutely fine. Still working through the posterior muscles. And then if you want to work your core a little bit and your shoulder complex, taking that arm out. Maybe a little bit of a bend in that standing knee if that's more comfortable for you. The risk is if you lock it out, nothing really happens because the bone is actually doing all the work. If you bend the knee a little bit, you engage, you get your muscles firing up, okay? And then maybe a few little gentle supported movements of your hips here, as we did earlier. Okay, and then the last standing posture is our supported warrior 3. So we'll use the back of the chair for this. Bit similar to the downward dogs. Walking the feet backwards to lengthen, flatten through the body. And then you draw one leg up. You have to make sure you've got plenty of room with these and making sure again that the chair is stable. And then draw one leg off of the floor, point at the toes, nice and flat through the body. Maybe look up between the hands to flatten through your back. See how you go with this. And if you're okay with this and you want to go a little bit deeper, maybe draw one hand off of the chair. And then the other hand off of the chair. Really intense posture. Intense posture in yoga anyway, and super intense even with chair yoga. And then once you've done that on one leg, lower the other leg down and go on the other leg, pointing the toes, flat through the body, lift the head up, look between the hands, maybe take one hand off if you want to go that deep. Quite effective in terms of the effort needed to do that particular posture. Very similar to conventional yoga. Okay, so that's all the postures. Now we're going to finish off. Normally in the yoga class, we finish off with relaxation. Now I'm not going to do relaxation. I'm going to bookend this with what we did at the start in the video 1, which is the breath. Now the breath is a way of becoming mindful, bringing our head away from all of those thousands of thoughts that bombard it every day. And this is a technique I teach in all my classes. This is a technique I teach in my breath coaching. So this is a way of trying to get you to remind yourselves or retrain yourselves into how to breathe properly. So I want you to sit on your chair. Feet are comfortably hip width apart. You can rest your feet on a block if you want, or a book to raise your knees off of the floor to get that degree of comfort. Make sure your back is drawn away from the chair so you're upright through your body. This is all about posture. One of the big things about breath work is that we need to breathe into a good posture to allow the ribs to soften and release. Okay, so find that nice posture for you. A little bit of effort, but you're upright through the body. Rest your hands on your lap, palms up, palms down, whatever works for you. Okay, maybe close your eyes or fix your gaze on the floor. And for the first few breaths here, just breathe in and out through your nose if you're able to do so. Otherwise, breathe through your teeth with your mouth open. But it's best to breathe in and out through the nose. Just taking a few deep breaths into the body. Now rest your hand, one hand on your tummy. And as you start to continue with your breathe, Start to breathe down towards your hands. So allow the air to go down deep into the lungs to push your diaphragm down into your abdominal cavity. You might be able to gently feel the tummy press into the hand, push the hand forwards a little bit. In and out through your nose. Nice and upright with your posture. Now I'm going to count you in your breath, so we can control our breath, the rate, the depth of the breath. So we're going to carry on with this way of breathing in and out through the nose into our tummy, as you are. But I'm going to count you down. You're going to breathe in for a count of 3, breathe out for a count of 5. If it's too much for you, then breathe normally as you would, but still breathing into your tummy, into your hand, in and out through your nose. So after 3, 2, 1, breath in for 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Breath in, 1, 2, 3. Breath out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now to normal breath as you were, but still try to breathe into your tummy, in and out through your nose for a couple of breaths. And then release. So that was essentially 10 breaths of controlled breathing, probably breathing between 6 and 10 breaths a minute, which is a really good target for normal breathing. Now, try to think about your breath quite regularly during your day and just feel where the breath is going. It might be going up into the upper chest here. It might be quite shallow, it might be quite quick. The intention really is to try to slow the breath down, get down to between 6 and 10 if you can. And maybe do it a few times a day, maybe do it in dead time, maybe do it when, I don't know, if the traffic lights are on red and it's a long hold, maybe a couple of belly breaths in and out through the nose, obviously keeping good attention to your driving, maybe when the adverts are on, but try. Please, if I leave anything with you on these videos is please be aware of your breath, how you can control your breath. It's a mindful activity. It's a great form of meditation, breath counting. And when you breathe into your nose and into your tummy and you've got a good posture and you have slow rhythmic breath, there's so many things happen on a physiological basis. And by all means, get in touch with me. I've got lots of stuff, blogs I do about the breath and why we do the breath that we do in and out through the nose, 6 to 10 breaths a minute if we can, and nice upright posture. Thanks very much for looking at these videos. I'll put some information up as to how you can get hold of the practice guide. This is just a sample of some of the stuff I teach in chair yoga and some of the postures that are available in chair yoga. Please take a look all over the internet and experiment with different things and build your own home practice. Allocate 10, 15, 20 minutes a day or 2-3 days a week for your chair yoga practice. And if you want, join me in one of my classes. I'll flash some information up. I teach in Wokingham, generally speaking. Yeah, and if you like this, please give me a Google review. If you go to my business, my Google business, richardyoga.org, you'll see the thing on the thing below. just hit a Google review there. That would be great. Thanks very much. Stay safe.